Hi, everybody. This is David Nevins for Citybiz List. And today our guest, well, in all honesty, is one of my favorite people of all time and one of Maryland's favorite and foremost citizens as well, Dr. Nancy Grasmick, longtime state school superintendent, and now, of course, in her 2.0 life, she's doing other things that we're going to chat about as well. Nancy, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure to be with you, David, always. And your compliments are certainly appreciated, but returned to you.
You're so sweet. So Nancy, I called you to do this because I read about, and I had known a little bit about it previously also. Of course, you've been involved for a number of years in our alma mater, Towson University, in many different capacities. But now you have recently set up, and you are heading up. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Dr. Nancy Grasmick Leadership Institute at Towson University. So, first of all, kudos on that. That's amazing. And then secondly, tell us a little bit about it and your role and, of course, what you hope to achieve there as well.
Certainly. Well, I'm very excited about this initiative. And yes, I've been in many different positions at Towson University. Currently, I'm a presidential scholar. But this is something that came to my mind as I looked at our society generally today. And in almost every arena, we're lacking very strong leadership. And I decided that as a legacy, I'd like to do not only funding, but real involvement in terms of leadership development. And so this is going to be an outward-facing initiative. It will not be on campus. It will not be for students. It will be for people external to Towson University. Nonprofits, business, corporate certainly, and government. And so it's going to be located in the center of Towson, the town of Towson. And so we're very excited because Towson University has a presence in central Towson now. And so what I thought about are several things that drew me to this. I wanted to create a new model. Usually when people give money, they want an immediate experience developed. And I said, I didn't want that. So for 2 years, I funded almost at $500,000 cumulatively, a study of every leadership program in this country, from Stanford to Harvard to smaller ones, et cetera. And what I concluded was that most of it is management and not leadership. Most of it is congregating a group of people and everyone gets, and I use this expression not being disparaging, sheep dip. Everyone gets the same sheep dip, whether they need it or not. And I wanted to do something different. And through my own experiences in leadership, I think there were some basic, fundamental premises that I wanted to emphasize or have emphasized in this institute. One is ethics. We live in Maryland. We've seen political leaders who have not exercised ethics. We've seen it on a national scale with large corporations. And so ethics, extremely important. Resilience, the idea that success is a straight line. And if you accumulate these skills, you'll immediately be successful. But resilience is the ability to sometimes fail, learn from your failure, and go on. The other honest interpretation of your own strengths. Many times leaders want to surround themselves with people who think exactly as they think, and yet not one of us has every attribute. So enhancing a team by having people who have different strengths and attributes, and the ability to be insistent upon outcomes. People spend lots of money and lots of time on strategic planning, but there's little attention to what are the longitudinal outcomes. And so they are some of the dimensions of this institute. Now, it has my name, and I will be contributing financially to this. And of course, I will be interested and engaged, but I'm not going to run this on a day-to-day basis. There will be an executive director, and right now we're evaluating resumes from all over the country, people who would be interested in being the executive director of this. So that's the person who will be operating this on a daily basis. So I want it to be highly customized to the individual needs of the individuals who are going to participate. And that may be coaching, that may be aspiring to leadership because you're in that trajectory, but you have to hone your skills. It may be engaging with a group of people who have like needs or like aspirations. So it's going to be highly customized to really be able to enhance learning for individuals and not a group approach to this.
So Nancy, well, first of all, kudos. And as you most correctly noted, most of the, let's just say many of the problems and challenges we have in the world, whether it's in business or education or government or the nonprofit world, is not really the result of bad management. Many people are trained to be good managers. Far fewer are trained or learn how to be good leaders, as you've noted. So how will this work? Are you looking, you said it's not for the typical student at Towson University. I understand that. Is it, will students enroll? Is it seminars? Are you looking for people to study concepts of leadership? Try to just share with us a little more specificity, if you don't mind.
No, absolutely. It is not for students at all. It is for people external to the university. So for instance, in talking with the county administrator in Baltimore County, I said, what is the training program for your various department leaders? She said, we have no training program. So that's a governmental need that exists right there in Towson. And if we talk about beyond that, nonprofits, and nonprofits are a huge part of our society at this time. And yet people aspire to head those nonprofits who have no leadership training and preparation. And then corporations. And so what we are doing is setting forth a menu that will be customized to what the individuals need. And that'll be both self-assessment wherever they work, that assessment of what their needs may be, their motivation for leadership and aspiring to that, and then a menu from which they can participate based on all of that analysis.
And then, of course, in addition to the executive director that you noted was currently being recruited, you will then have a group of faculty members, I assume, and other experts to help these folks develop leadership skills and training programs?
Absolutely. For instance, we'll have no coaches who are not certified in coaching. And it will not draw particularly from the university faculty, except we want to have research done on the outcomes of this institute. And so there will be a research component that will be part of the academic effort of the university. But we will bring in people who may not be permanent staff, but will be attracted with the proper certification to be able to do the coaching, to do the absolute educational dimension of this based on their skill sets and capabilities of doing that.
Well, again, good for you. It sounds like something that will certainly help change society for the better. We need more leaders. There's no question about it. And then Nancy, knowing of your many decades of mentorship to so many people, are there special programs that might be there that would concentrate on women, training women as leaders, or are you? Do you exist for everybody?
We exist for everyone, except as one dimension of this Leadership Institute, we've had a highly successful professional women's leadership program at Towson University for a number of years. And we have followed this on a longitudinal basis. And over 50% of those women are now in leadership positions. This will be a component that will reside in this Leadership Institute. But the other dimensions of the Leadership Institute will be for everyone.
Yeah. So Nancy, this is, again, wonderful news. It's going to be great for Towson University. You happen to be locating a couple blocks from my office, so I hope you don't mind if I stop in every now and then. We can all learn a little bit more about leadership. And I know you're just getting started, and as you noted, recruiting an executive director to run it on a day-to-day basis. In the meantime, is there an existing way that people can learn more about it and reach out? Do you have a website yet, or?
It's under the Towson banner, Towson
Okay.
University. But if you put in Nancy Grasmick Leadership Institute, it is on the website.
Good. So I hope, so, this interview, of course, and the people seeing this, this goes to in excess of 100,000, mostly leaders around the country, and many of whom are in the Baltimore, Washington areas. So leaders need leadership training for sure, and most of us know that. I can't think of a better legacy for you and your work than this. So, thank you so much for your, not really just for your financial generosity, though that helped get it started, obviously, but for your leadership and mentorship and the idea to move this forward.
Thank you so much, David, and this opportunity. And I would like to say that we have galvanized the ideas of more than 20,000 business people through this 2-year process to really come up with this large menu that we have.
Yeah. So, and Nancy, listen, if you don't mind, I'd like to switch gears for the minute or two we have left. I don't want to, I'm talking to the nation's, perhaps the nation's most esteemed and experienced education leader. And we're sort of coming out of, hopefully soon to come out of this pandemic, this year plus of homeschooling and, all the challenges that kids have had and parents have had with teaching and learning and so forth. I know you have a lot of thoughts on what we've done and what we might do differently, and how we can maybe turn this into our advantage long term.
Yes, I have thought a lot about it, and I would not want to replicate what we've experienced. I think we have students who have lost so much learning. I'm very worried if they will ever recover from this. And so I would have perhaps taken a very different approach. And when I look at parochial and private schools, they have been open with very few problems since the pandemic began in the new school year. And so I would have opened schools much sooner in the public school arena. And I do believe that teachers are essential workers. And we never said to a nurse, don't go to the hospital because it might be dangerous. And we know the statistics scientifically on children and the spread of the pandemic. And that's why in private schools and public schools in this state of Maryland, we've had few incidents. And so, I know, David, that a free and appropriate education is one of the highest priorities of our Constitution of this state. And too many children were denied those opportunities.
Well, we could probably talk for a long time about how to fix things and do things differently, but I know, I hope that, I have no doubt, let's just say, that you are still talking to our leaders today, and maybe they should be listening to you a little bit more. But I just, Nancy, everybody really so admires the service you've provided to the nation, not just the state of Maryland, to the nation over the past many decades. And of course, you're best known as our highly successful school superintendent in Maryland. During those years, we got, as I recall, we were the highest rated school system in the country for many, if not most of those years. And again, thank you so much for your role at Towson University, my beloved alma mater, and the Dr. Nancy Grasmick Leadership Institute at Towson University, I have no doubt will have an extraordinarily bright future.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be with you, as always.
Thank you, Nancy. And so this is David Nevins for Citybiz List. Thank you all so much for watching.